Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Leanne Sanders. The Cenovus Energy Hub is well on track. That's according to the second quarterly update presented to City Council for the highly anticipated project. Lloyd's new arena, since beginning construction in summer of last year, has now made some serious progress thanks to the good weather in part that the city's received.
As you can see, anybody that drives out sees change each and every day from, over this past winter, which we had one of the best construction winters ever, if you were asking anybody in that field. But certainly steel continues to go up. The enclosure will be enclosed, shooting for the end of October, to see the facility enclosed and that moving most of the construction inside.
Financially, Albers says the city is constantly striving to lessen the burden on taxpayers, setting up numerous fundraising events throughout the city and still looking for money from the government of Alberta.
Still optimistic the government of Alberta will come to the table on this project. It is unique. It's a bi-provincial project because it's a bi-provincial city. We were able to access monies earlier to receive grant approval from Canada and Saskatchewan, or Saskatchewan Canada ISIP money, but that was not able to be accessed from the government of Alberta.
If you'd like the information provided in that quarterly update, visit lloydminster.ca. The 2024 Saskatchewan Summer Games are less than a week away. The 1,800 athletes and their supporters will soon start arriving in Lloydminster. I spoke to the Games co-chair about what final preparations are underway, including signing up more volunteers.
I am speaking with Wendy Plandowski today from the Saskatchewan Summer Games 2024, of course, coming to Lloydminster here in a few short days. Wendy, at this point in time, what is the committee doing that's getting this all ready to go? What are they up to right now?
By far, this is the most exciting day that we have had since we started this process. There's lots of things happening. We've got people getting over to the Athletes Village today, just making sure that we have the proper room allocation set up for all the athletes. We're excited to say that we're going to have a full house. At some point, we weren't sure if we would have a full athlete protocol, but we do. And so that's fantastic. So we're just making sure that we've got all the room allocations at the comp for the Athletes Village. We've got lots of phone calls going out to people who had offered to volunteer, making sure that they've got access to their shifts, finding out what's the best opportunity for them to have a blast while they're volunteering, what's their skill set, where would they like to go. And we're just seeing everybody pull together, and it's a really exciting day.
I do know that we're hoping to get more volunteers involved. And has that happened?
Yeah, every day we're getting more and more people that are getting their security checks done. I can't say enough about our local RCMP detachment. They have stayed open late for us to process like probably 30 applications a day. And they've just been so helpful. The turnaround there has been great. It's those kind of community partnerships that you need to pull everything together. And as of right now, we're well over our 800 volunteers. It would be ideal if we could get another 100 that would be available to sign up between now and Sunday. Having said that, lots of people are taking 3-4 shifts. And so the volunteers that we have are really stepping up to the plate, but we have room for more. We have room to spread the incredible opportunity of being a volunteer to a few more people.
I imagine there's a great amount of energy that comes along with this type of event. For people that are not familiar and maybe have not attended a games in the past, what could they expect?
There's a real buzz with a multi-sport games because it's so spread out around the community. I think that everywhere you go, you're going to see parents and family members and officials and athletes. And we've got so many different venues around the community. And so, I think you're going to see the buses all week transporting kids from the Athletes Village to the food center to the venues. You're going to see lots of the cultural activities that are going on around the community, including the big Synovus event on Wednesday at the college in Bud Miller Park, which is just going to be really exciting. We've got some very special guests coming into the community for the opening and closing ceremonies, including the Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan. And so there'll be that happening as well. And so I think there's just going to be a bit of electricity in a good way. And of course, it's going to be very hot. So we're putting all of those heat protocols into place as well, just to keep our athletes and our volunteers cool.
All right, can you speak to that a little bit, Wendy? Because I know we just came through that for the fair. So what kinds of things can be done for the volunteers and the athletes?
You know, I think more than anything, it's just making sure that people are aware of their own limitations and making sure that they take a break and stay hydrated and go into one of the cooling centers that we'll have. We're very fortunate that all of our venues have close proximity to cool places. I understand that a lot of the teams will be bringing their own shelters to protect their athletes. We're going to do those little extra things that we can. I know I was chatting with our co-chair Aaron Rollick this morning, and he said the whole week he's just going to have his coolers in the back of his truck loaded up with water and Powerade, driving around, giving people a cool drink. And those are the kinds of things I think as our host community that we'll just try to go above and beyond to make sure that people are enjoying the heat and nobody's suffering from it.
So Wendy, is there anything that you would like to share about the event that I may not have asked?
We've also got multiple opportunities at Synergy Credit Union at the Games office if people want to pop down there and get a hand. And then, of course, Thursday we have our big volunteer VIP event where we're going to thank all of our volunteers ahead of the Games, and that's at Service Sports Center.
I do think that probably one of the big side benefits of being a volunteer is the sense of community and the friendships that you make along the way.
Mm-hmm. It is. And, I just introduced two of my favorite people to each other a few minutes ago at Synergy Credit Union. And I was amazed that they didn't know each other. And I said, you two are going to enjoy getting to know each other because they have so much community spirit in common. And that's just one of the greatest things about what's happening here over the next couple of weeks is so many people are going to get to know each other that they didn't know before.
Excellent. All right. Again, thank you, Wendy.
Thanks, Leanne.
And we're going to have one of those extended heat events again upon us. We have a heat warning in effect, I understand, Abby.
Yes, most of Alberta, a little bit of Saskatchewan, but not too much right now. That could change. Most of Alberta is under a heat warning, including here in Lloydminster. And I suppose since we're going to be into the 30s for most of this week, that heat warning is going to remain. So definitely take precaution, stay hydrated, and protect yourself from the sun if you're going outside. Even if it looks a little bit cloudy and overcast, that heat can still cause exhaustion and or even worse, heat stroke as well. So definitely protect yourself from the heat / the sun. 27 degrees, a very nice and warm day out today. A little bit of cloud coverage here and there, but for the most part, it was relatively sunny out. 17-kilometer-per-hour wind, so it is a tad bit windy on the windier side, but for the most part, it's a lovely day out today. Quite warm indeed. In Alberta, 28 in Provost, Vermilion, Vegreville, St. Paul, and Marwayne, 30 in Cold Lake, Edmonton, and Lac La Biche, and in Wainwright, 29 in Bonnyville. And in Saskatchewan, 27 in Green Lake, St. Walburg, and Maidstone, 28 in Pierceland, Meadow Lake, and Macklin, and 26 in Isle Cross and in North Battleford. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, it will be quite clear skies, which is going to be nice, and only a low of 13 degrees, 11-kilometer-per-hour wind. So it's going to be a nice evening out tonight in North Battleford. And then tomorrow, expect a daytime high of 29, plenty of sun, 13-kilometer-per-hour wind. So it's going to be a nice, bright and sunny day out tomorrow. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, patchy clouds, a little bit of clouds here and there, 9-kilometer-per-hour winds and 14 degrees. So it's going to be a nice warm evening out. And then tomorrow, expect a daytime high of 31, mostly sunny, very warm, and that heat warning should still be in effect for tomorrow, 13-kilometer-per-hour winds. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, we will have clear skies, 14 degrees, 13-kilometer-per-hour winds, so it is going to be a nice warm evening out tonight here. And then tomorrow at 6 a.m. it'll be 15 degrees, so warm right off the bat. 13 km/h winds, quite sunny, mostly sunny rather by noontime. So just a little bit of cloud coverage. 26 degrees, 13 km/h winds, and then by 6 p.m. it should be around 29, partially sunny, 15 km/h winds, which will remain till around midnight, where it'll be 20 degrees. So it's going to be very warm for the whole day tomorrow. And then for the next 3 days, like I said, it's going to be very, very warm tomorrow. And then on Thursday, it's going to be mostly cloudy. However, like I said earlier, despite the cloud coverage, it's still going to be extremely hot out. So definitely protect yourself from the heat if you're going outside despite the cloud coverage. But it will be a daytime high of 31 and a low of 16. And then on Friday, to start the weekend off, it will be very hot, a high of 33, probably the hottest of this work week. And then there will be some clouds, not too much as we'll see on Thursday, but there will be a few patchy clouds throughout the day, high of 33 and a low of 17. So we're gearing up for some very hot weather over the next few days and into the weekend. So definitely take precautions and double check on Environment Canada for any warnings or alerts as well. As a first look at your evening weather forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Abby St. John is at a new location this week for our weekly edition of Pet Project.
I'm here at PetSmart instead of Border Paws for this week's Pet Project. And we are at PetSmart because this week is PetSmart National Adoption Event. And of course, Border Paws is always here for that event. It's a massive event nationwide. And it's also very important for here in Lloydminster as well. And for you guys always have a successful adoption event. It's only been going on since yesterday, and you've already have 3 adoptions. So that's really exciting. And today we don't have a specific animal that we will be showing off, but we do have a few here up for adoption. First, we have Kisses, adorable sweet cat, Plain Jane, Goatee, who we saw last week, and then Ghost. So maybe tell us a little bit about each cat, kind of give us a brief rundown of them.
Well, Kisses is about 4 years old, was brought to us back in June. Litter box trained, not tested with other cats. Well, he was in here yesterday actually with another cat, Toby, who was adopted. So I think cat selective can get along with
May take some time.
Yeah, certain cats he may just not get along with, but that's everybody, right?
Yeah.
He's so cuddly. This cat is just so sweet, very playful,
Yeah.
very curious about everything. Would definitely make a great companion for a family. Absolutely. And all of our adoptions are 40% off for the month of
Yes.
July. So
on top of the adoption event,
Yeah.
you can also get a discount on the animals that you adopt as well, which is amazing. And obviously, they're going to a fantastic home in the end, so that makes it even better. Because like we brought up last week when we were talking about the sale, sometimes the deterrent for people is the price. So they could have everything they need to have ready for a beautiful home, and it's just the price. So having that discount is amazing.
it is. And we have Plain Jane here. She's a very, very unique looking cat. She's I guess we call it calico. Just very unique marking. She's just an absolutely beautiful cat. She was a bit grumpy when she first came to us, but you know, who wouldn't be getting locked up in a kennel? We don't know exactly what her past was like, but she has started to warm up quite a bit. I mean, with the volunteers who do come in to help get the cats used to hugs and kisses and cuddles and stuff like that. It's one of the things that we absolutely love when we do get the volunteers, because some of these animals haven't had enough positive human interaction, and we want to try and, you know, show them that the world's not all terrible and that there's good places for them.
Yes,
Right.
of course. And of course, we talked about Goatee. He was our star of last week. So hopefully this week he'll be able to find his forever home. He definitely showed his personality.
Yeah.
Very energetic, but also kind of chill at the same time. Likes to do his own thing, but loves affection too. So kind of a walking contradiction a little bit.
Thrives
but
on the attention.
yes, but
For
on
sure.
his own time,
Yeah.
of course. So he's also another fantastic addition to this group of cats, and hopefully you'll be able to find their forever homes this week. Now, tell me a little bit more details about the adoption event so people are aware of what they need to know before coming.
So what's really important with these animals, like of course adults, you can come and pet them and cuddle them and stuff. We do ask though if you do have smaller children, right, to keep an eye on, because unlike the shelter, we don't have a smaller space where we could close the door if they got out. And if they're loose in here, it's a little bit harder to
Find them.
catch them. Yeah.
Yes, and all the
So-
little areas that they can hide in.
And it's very important too if you already have other pets. We do offer meet and greet, so if there's someone that you're interested in, we can arrange a meetup at the shelter so you can see if your current animals or pets will get along with them. But our main goal here is just we want to find them all good homes, because we are at capacity, especially for dogs. Right now we can't take any more intakes for dogs. It's pretty full, and we had more kittens born this morning. So it's just very important too for anybody who currently owns pets to spay and neuter them, because shelters do get overrun pretty quickly this time of the year. So it's pretty important.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. And I like that you brought up the no longer taking intakes. I think that's very important. I forgot to bring it up last week, so covering it this week for sure. And how long do you perceive that's going to take, or kind of give it why you can't take any more intakes, just so people are aware of why.
Health and safety is a big thing, because we have a certain number of kennels. We don't want them all squished in together because it's just not safe. It's not, it doesn't serve to make a happy environment
Right.
for them. It stresses them out. So hopefully with the end of this week-long event, we'll have a little bit more space if we need it. Hopefully, we get these guys all new homes. And
Fingers crossed. This week
Yeah.
is always quite successful for you
Successful,
guys, so I can't see that being an issue. Now, with the extremely hot weather, we've been talking about this a few times, but leaving your pets in the vehicle while you're going in, it can be extremely dangerous, even if you're going in for a couple of minutes. And especially with a lot of stores now allowing animals to be leashed in, like Canadian Tire or even PetSmart too. Why is it so dangerous to leave your pet, let's say a dog, in your vehicle, even if it is just for a couple minutes going inside?
You think about what cars are made of. Generally, metal holds heat. Cars, if you don't leave it running with the air conditioner at the very least, it get really hot really quickly. Dogs also are not able to regulate their body temperatures in situations like that, and it can become very detrimental. Like immediately, they become distressed and they can die. So it is very important. If it's too much of an inconvenience for you to bring your pet into a store with you, leave them at home. It's the safest thing for them.
Or leave your car running with the windows cracked, AC going, or I was even thinking get one of the couple battery operated little fans that you can hook up in your vehicle just so that they can regulate some air. Even if you're running into the convenience store, having those can oscillate the air and cool them off a little bit just for you going. But with stores now allowing, a lot of places allowing pets to be brought in on leash, there is really no excuse for leaving them in the vehicle. So it's just a good reminder for those in the summer to remember, don't leave your pet in a hot vehicle, because the vehicle can get very hot very fast. Now, same as always, are there any donations that you're in need of?
Absolutely. We are still in desperate need of kitten wet food and dry food. We just had 4 more kittens born this morning. So that brings our total, I think, to about 45 kittens in total. So yeah, that would... Kitten food, very helpful. We're also in need of volunteers and fosters. We're always looking for people to come in and help us, like just cuddle them and stuff, because there are a lot of tasks that need to get done during the day, and we want to make sure that everybody's all taken care of and loved and cuddled and right
And to be a volunteer / or foster, they just have to go to your website.
yeah, they can go to the website or again apply in person during our opening hours. We usually open at noon every day. Our hours are changing a little bit, and I feel like you can find the updated information on our website. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And just a reminder, what are the dates for this week's adoption event so people are aware?
So we'll be from 2 to 6 from yesterday till Friday, and then I believe 1 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday.
And the discount for Border Paws is still going on for the whole month of July, up until the 31st.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining me, and I wish you the best of luck for this week's adoption event.
Thank you so much.
There is a tour planned for Paradise Valley tomorrow where people have the chance to visit several projects in the Alternative Land Use Service, or ALUS program. Stacey Comer found out what is planned.
We have a special guest joining us today on Primetime Local News. Chris Elder is here. Chris is the ALUS coordinator for the County of Vermilion River. Chris, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, we have a special event happening tomorrow in the Paradise Valley area, and it's a summer tour that's planned, and that is through the ALUS program. And for those people who don't know, Chris, can you tell me what exactly is the ALUS program?
Yeah, the ALICE program is a stewardship program that we run through the county that supports farmers to support agriculture and wildlife and natural spaces for our community, for their farm, and for future generations. So we help them out with technical support and financial support in doing projects that help support all those things.
And what is planned for the tour in the Paradise Valley area tomorrow?
Yeah, we're doing the tour in sort of in combination with our agricultural service board at the county as well. So there will be well, we'll start off with a pancake breakfast. So that's always a good thing to do, and that'll be actually sponsored or provided by the Paradise Valley Ag Society. So we're working with them. So we'll start off at 8 in the morning with the pancake breakfast, and then we'll have a tour of a local ALICE project on a grain farm and what we've done with some crop buffers that have helped us support some wetlands and grasslands and pollinator species there. And then we'll also talk about some weed management, um, and we'll talk about potentially how to manage or some options for managing saline areas, particularly around wetlands in a crop context.
So why do you guys do these tours?
Well, it gives us a chance to show the things that we've been able to support and the great work that farmers and ranchers are doing in our county, um, and across Alberta. Um, so it gives us a chance to show those things off, and it gives us a chance to reach out to producers in the area, but also the general public, anyone that's interested in seeing what we do at the county. Um, See what we do through the ALICE program, how we manage weeds and other pests and those sorts of things. So it just gives us a chance to showcase those things, but also to have conversations and discussions. It'll be a pretty casual tour. Often there's lots of time to interact with other participants and the producers and the ag staff, and so we can learn kind of what's going on out there, and people can hear from us what we're doing in the county.
So if people would like to take part in this tomorrow, do they need to sign up ahead of time or can they just show up, or how does that work, Chris?
Yeah, they can just show up. We don't have a pre-registration, so they can just come down and enjoy a breakfast with us, and then follow us along on the tour. And it's all quite local, so it won't be too much on the road. But yeah, come out and join us for breakfast, and then and see what we have to offer in the county.
Okay, Chris, what time does that breakfast start and where is it at if people would like to join the tour tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll kick it off at 8 a.m. at the Paradise Valley Arena.
And is there a charge for any of this?
Nope, it's all free.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good day for you tomorrow, Chris. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining me and
Yeah,
good luck with the tour tomorrow.
great. Well, thanks for having me.
Coming up after the break, we'll have an extended look at the weather forecast.
Welcome back. We saw a gorgeous day out today, and most of Alberta and a little tiny bit of Saskatchewan for right now is under a heat warning. So take precaution, definitely, and keep on watching those alerts and warnings. It's 28 degrees, a little bit of cloud coverage that we saw today, but for the most part, it was a very nice sunny day out today. 17-kilometer-per-hour wind, so not too much of a factor regardless. It was a very warm, hot day out is what we're going to see across Alberta. Currently at 31 in Cold Lake and Athabasca, 29 in Red Deer, Edson and Whitecourt, 30 out in Edmonton, 28 in Rocky Mount House, and 32 out in Jasper. And in Saskatchewan, 28 in Meadow Lake, 22 in Prince Albert, 26 in North Battleford, 25 in Saskatoon, and 21 in Melfort. And if we head up north in Saskatchewan, 29 in Uranium City, 28 in Stony Rapids, 27 in Wollaston Lake, La Loche, and Buffalo Narrows, 22 in South End, and 20 out in Flin Flon. And in Alberta, 31 in Fort Chipewyan and High Level, 30 in Peace River and Grand Prairie, 28 in Fort Mac, and 26 in Slave Lake. And then down south in Alberta, 29 in Coronation, 28 in Banff and Calgary, 30 in Lethbridge, and 31 in Medicine Hat. And in Saskatchewan, 27 in Kindersley, 28 in Swift Current, 26 in Moose Jaw, Regina, and Estevan, and 20 out in Yorkton. And then overnight tonight in North Battleford will be 13 degrees, clear sky, so it's going to be a lovely evening out tonight, 11-kilometer-per-hour winds. And then overnight tonight in Cold Lake, 14 degrees, a little bit of patchy clouds, but for the most part, it's going to be a nice evening out. Wind, not too much of a factor at only 9 kilometers per hour. And then overnight tonight for the rest of the region, 15 in Meadow Lake, Bonnyville, and Provost, 17 in Isle La Crosse, and 14 out in Paradise Hill. And then in Murnum, it will be 15 overnight tonight, as well as out in Calgary, 14 in Pierceland, 13 in Unity, and 14 also out in Wainwright. Relatively clear skies in the majority of the area, a little bit of cloud coverage in Murnum and in Pierceland. And then overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to 14, so it'll be a nice evening out tonight. We're expected clear skies as well, 13-kilometer-per-hour wind, so it's going to be a very warm evening out tonight. And then over the next 7 days here in Lloydminster, for tomorrow, a high of 30 and a low of 15. Very sunny, very warm, and then a little bit more cloud coverage on Thursday with a high of 31 and a low of 16. And then both Friday and Saturday is looking with a high of 33, low of 17 on Friday, and a low of 18 on Saturday. Expect a very sunny day on Saturday as well. High of 32 on Sunday, very warm, mostly sunny. There may be a little bit of clouds with a low of 18. High of 32 on Monday to start our week off again with a low of 17, partially sunny and very warm. And then on Tuesday to wrap up the next 7 days, a high of 33 and a low of 16. So over the next 7 days, we are expected very hot conditions to wrap up the next the 7-day forecast here. We are looking at very hot conditions and expect that heat warning to stick around as well. And with that, protect yourself from, it is expected to be sunny, but if there is cloud coverage, if it is overcast, that heat can still affect you in a lot of ways. So make sure you're wearing sunscreen, hydrating as best as possible, drinking water, Gatorade, liquid IV also has become more popular. So definitely protect yourself from the hot weather, and don't leave your pets in your vehicle either.
And just try to enjoy it as well.
Yes, that's the most important part, to enjoy the summer.
All right, that's all that we have for you this evening. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good night.